Outlanders, welcome to our stream today. Just let us know in the chat if you can hear us, if you can see us all okay, and then we'll be able to jump right in. Okay, we already have a quick heads up that they can hear us fine, and let me just check on other platforms as well if everything's going good. People are saying hi. Hello everyone, welcome in. We hope that you're ready to hear some small news from us today, and we'll also be discussing update 13.1. So yeah. Will you turn on slow mode? Which one?
Twitch.
On Twitch, but it is on. It's on. Don't worry about it. Thank you for your concern. All is fine. Alright, so let's jump right in. Hello everyone, my name is Forsythia and I'm the Senior Community Manager for Vigor, and today with me I have two guests, Filip.
Hello.
And Johanny.
Hello.
Alright, so I think that we could start with some introductions because we might have some new Outlanders in the chat who haven't met any of us before. So who would like to start?
I can start. Yeah. I haven't been here for a long time, or maybe not ever. I don't know.
Were you? I think you were on a stream this year for sure. You were definitely in the anniversary one.
That's true, in the anniversary one, yeah, so that's true. But on a regular one, not for a long time. So yeah, so I'm Filip. I'm marketing and brand manager. So I take care of the marketing team and of all the communication vision and all these things. So yeah, from PPCs to.
What is PPC? Come on, I didn't even know it before.
It's a pay-per-click campaign, so
cool.
Yeah. So all these things, yeah.
Alright, great. If anyone has any questions for Filip, please feel free to leave them in the chat. And now, Johanny, your introduction.
I'm the lead programmer on Vigor, which means that I'm overseeing the programming team overall on the game. Making sure they do what's expected, that they do it well enough, that it's robust and stable.
Great, thank you, Johanny. And if anyone's got any questions for Johanny as well, please feel free to leave them in the chat. We do have some more people coming in and saying hi. Hello, everyone. Glad to see you all here. But yeah, so today we will be discussing update 13.1, and we'll also be having a live Q&A session. We did get some questions from our social media as well, so stay tuned if you want to hear some responses to those, but also feel free to leave any questions you have for us in the chat as well, and we will get to them, hopefully. Alright, so let's see. Well, maybe we could start off by rehashing what was new with the game. Maybe
Sure.
I'd like to start off, well, the controller is over there. Could I ask you to perhaps show off the, or I can do it too if you would like.
I don't have the...
First off, we added some beards and mustaches in the shop for No Shave November. We hope that you were able to grab some already and enjoy some of them. Some of them are on sale right now. As you can see, this misty teal one is on sale. If you have any other preferences, you can also get them in the cosmetics shop. As you can see, we have different options and different colors too. So we hope that you enjoy it. That's one of the new things that we did with 13.1, but it's not really something that I would say is the biggest thing. We will be discussing in depth the bigger things that we added, or the bigger features that we added with 13.1. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And maybe... who wants to play first? Because I cannot play right now.
I don't mind.
You can play, but you will also then be discussing some of the new features.
Okay. Should we start showcasing at least the premium pack?
Yes, sure. We could do that.
This is what I'm wearing at the moment. Very cool. Strong military vibes. Spec Ops.
It's called the Soldier of Fortune packs.
Yes.
And it's available in the store. There was a bit of a delay with releasing it, but now it's here.
Yeah.
It took a couple of days for it to show up, but we hope that you get to enjoy them now. Alright. And actually, maybe while you queue up for a game, Johanny, we could discuss how the 4K came to be on Xbox One X and Xbox Series X.
So yes, as I was mentioning, we are still working on a
I said while we queue up, but
Oh yeah, okay.
it's fine.
My bad. Yeah, so with this Sunday we have introduced 4K on a range of consoles. Xbox Series X, Xbox One X both got a 4K resolution from 13.1. That was a difficult feature to implement, especially on the PS5. You may know that we are running the PS4 application on PS5, so the application is able to detect that it runs on PS5, but it doesn't have access to the full range of the hardware capabilities of the PS5, so we are limited there. So yeah, we intended to have 4K on PS5, but we couldn't deliver it for memory reasons, because 4K rendering to 4K means that you have to have a lot of 4K textures in memory, and actually they were just too big to fit on the memory that is available for us on PS5. So we decided to settle on 1440p on PS5 so that you still get a cleaner image, but it's not all the way up to 4K, sadly. But still want to bring 4K on PS5, so we will continue to work on this at some point. Yeah, I cannot say much more about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone has any other questions regarding
Yeah.
4K and its implementation and how it works, please feel free to leave it on the chat.
I think an important note is to say that 4K doesn't mean that we reduce the frame rate, so you have the same frame rate on the new generation and on Xbox One X, even with 4K enabled. It's you just get a boost in image quality. Especially in the UI, because the UI was rendered at 1080p and it wasn't, it was very low res, especially on 4K screens and televisions. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at your chat menu, you can see how detailed and nice all the things are.
All right. Thank you so much for that elaboration, Johanny.
No problem.
I did see a few questions in the chat asking about or mentioning LMGs.
Sorry.
Oh, that's a funny one.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
4K TV giveaway. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what
Can I sign myself up for the giveaway?
Yeah, sure. I don't know who's doing it.
Apparently we are.
Yeah. I mean, like, who in the team is organizing it and paying for it, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe you can do it, Johnny, since you brought it up. I know that someone in the chat did, but, you know, it's all in good fun, of course. Alright, so as I was mentioning that people in the chat were mentioning the LMG nerf, and basically we promised and delivered some tweaks to LMGs with update 13.1, but we understand that it's not always going to be amazing and perfect, that everybody will be pleased with it. So we're still collecting feedback and gathering what everyone thinks about the LMG nerf. We did tweak the spread and we did tweak its functionality when you are trying to jump and shoot at the same time. But it seems that right now we're still in the feedback collection phase, and it seems that not everyone is pleased with it, so we're definitely collecting more feedback about it and we are discussing it with the team. We are planning on some early tweaks right now, right? As far as I understood.
Yeah. Well, we are monitoring the situation, that's for sure. But yeah, we are listening to the feedback, looking at the analytics, but usually we like to wait a bit for the... Oh, well.
I wasn't trying, sorry.
It's okay. We like to wait a bit before we get enough data to look at, because like we have released the update 6 days ago, which is not enough time for players to adapt to changes. So yeah, some people already claim that it wasn't enough, so time will tell, we will see.
Yes. I would also probably say that like we want to also see the trend, right? So like we sometimes don't do the like changes too much. We don't want to go over some like border, let's say. So yeah, we see that people probably would like to go more into that direction that we took in 13.1, so that will also help us as a set data as well. So don't worry, it's not like the last thing that we will ever do.
The
Exactly.
important part is we are okay to nice actually.
Nice. Good job,
Good
Johanny.
job, yeah.
I'm not very humble. Yeah, it's difficult to speak in plans.
It is, isn't it? But you're doing a good job so far. You got a headshot, so good on you, by Jude.
Yeah.
But for the LMGs, we have to also state that, like, since we did tweak the recoil and the bloom, there are different kinds of recoil. There is vertical and horizontal, and though I think someone in the chat mentioned that, like, there are SMGs that have higher recoil than specific MGs, that might be because you might be considering only the vertical recoil, so when the gun kicks upwards, but there is also horizontal recoil / bloom, which is something that we also take into account. But as mentioned already, we're still monitoring the situation and we are intending on taking some steps if need be. Like, I believe that they're not as OP as they used to be anymore. They're still quite strong, but we still want to see if we can make some adjustments to that.
Yeah. I know for sure that I was speaking with Alex, and that's not his full vision. He still has more ideas, but some of them will take longer to deliver because it needs some changes in the logic that are quite deep. So we need to time it right so that we don't break all the game, and we have enough time to test it. And usual game dev challenges. What?
Sus. Kinda.
Yeah.
You said you weren't good at playing while talking.
Yeah,
Right? I
no.
think that I've seen you do more kills while talking than not.
That's a good point, yeah.
But yeah.
The new outfit, right? It's so big. No, this one was. No.
Alright. Let's see what other chats have to say as well. I just want to see how they're doing. Someone did mention on YouTube that they definitely thought the reload would be a little bit longer on the LMGs. We did tweak the reload time as well, and we did hear some feedback that it's taking quite a long time, considerably longer than it used to, but we're still trying to assess if that is something that is perceived to be positive or negative, and then we will take steps forward based on how that goes. Alright, let's see what other chats have to say as well.
Yeah. Well, still about those reload times, that's something actually we cannot tweak live. We have to update the game. The reason is that it's tied to animations and animation speeds. Oh, there is a snake. So yeah, we can tweak a lot of parameters from servers and not without updating the whole client, not the whole application. But reload times is not something we can change without updating the game. So it's unlikely you will see any changes to this in the near future, but yeah, recoil and such, it's possible.
And I guess to add to that, because it was also noted in the chat that movement should also be tweaked because LMGs are heavy AF. That's also something that we can't tweak on the get-go on the server.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like, when I was mentioning that Alex has some ideas, well, it may or may not be one of them.
We'll just have to see. It's an idea.
Exactly, and as you probably know, we had the stream with Alex before, right? When
Yes.
we went a little bit in depth and explained that some of these things need to come together with other tweaks, like with some kind of overhaul. So basically
Yeah.
there are some more stuff to do, and we know about this, but it needs to come in a proper way and more together and stuff like that. So so we're keeping these stuff in mind, I would say.
For sure. Yeah. Alright. Thank you everyone for the questions. Oh, big rip. Oh, okay. That's why you thought he was a snake. He was like, he had a really
I don't know
good
where it
position.
was. I saw some movement on the side of the screen, but obviously there was nothing.
That's alright, my dude. Alright, I see a question, and I have seen it on our socials as well, from Seb Prasser, regarding the sound issue on Switch. There has been zero change and it's difficult to play. This sound issue is the one where you try to sprint and then you head right, but the audio plays on the left, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
We tried to fix it in 13.1. Actually, we made a few changes in this update to fix it, and some of our testing was saying that it improved the situation, so I do believe that it's less bad than it it was before. But apparently we haven't fixed it all the way, and even our QA confirmed that. So we are still working on it. But the sound, how to say it, like the way the engine works with the sound on Switch is very different from all the other platforms. So yeah. Oh.
Wow, you did good. Good job.
Yeah, it's very different, and there is a lot of specificities with spatial sound. They don't behave as they should, and we are still digging into that problem. So it's not fixed in 13.1, but we are working on it.
So hopefully, thank you, Johanny, for the insights, and I hope that that answers the question, Seb. Sorry that it didn't get fixed as we had wanted it to, but we're still working on it. All right. Since we're back in the shelter after a really good shootout match, good job, Johanny. That was cool. Yeah, but I handed it over to you as well, so it's teamwork, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe one thing to point out as well, one other big thing that we added with update 13.1 would be Legacy Season 9.
Oh yeah, it's your turn.
I'm
Time to shine.
not
Showcase it.
sure if I, yeah. So basically, what we did right is that we added Legacy Season 9, as you can see here, and as you already know, we talked about it on the previous streams, that Legacy Season 9 will be the last one, and so basically you can still purchase it, you can still go through it, you can get all the rewards. And I also think that we talked about the fact that the seasons will not stay there forever. We want to get rid of them in the future. But don't worry, you still have time to
progress
them, to progress through them. We will have a separate video on this, so everyone will get a concise information about how it's gonna go, and that's pretty much it about the Legacy Season 9. I think
Yeah. I think
if I should go more into detail, there's some more stuff, but
no, I think that you summed it up pretty well. It's basically the similar message that we mentioned last stream, as you mentioned, Filip. And yeah, so that's something that we talked about. It's just in order to make room for other future features, which would basically replace Legacy Seasons, let's say, but you can still grind it. You have lots of time. This is just early information for you. So yeah, hopefully that bit of information can help you all out. If you do have any questions, feel free to let us know. But I see that we finished Season 9 already, so we don't have... Basically, we cannot progress it because we already finished the Legacy Season. Oh, we finished the live battle pass when it was out, and so that means that we cannot progress it as it turns Legacy.
yeah, it's actually good you mentioning it, because I know that some people had a little bit of difficulty to understand that, so
They did.
that's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright, and maybe now's the time to just briefly mention some early news. We will be having a booster apocalypse for Black Friday, so it will start on the 25th and it will end on the 28th. It will start at 9 a.m. UTC on the 25th and it will end at 9 a.m. UTC as well on the 28th. I would say that this is something that could be potentially good because it can also showcase some of the other changes that we've made, so the Outlanders will get to see them. But basically, now whenever we have booster apocalypses or double XP, or is it not for double XP weekends? Just for booster apocalypses, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Booster Apocalypse for sure. They are now visible in the lobby, so you see that the price is discounted and there is a nice feedback in the lobby. While we were implementing this, we also fixed a few bugs with Booster Apocalypses because the way we were doing them before was, very manual, let's say. And there was a few bugs where multiple players in the same lobby wouldn't see the same price for boosters, which is funky.
Yeah.
But yeah, we fixed that. So that was some trivia of the development of the feature. Now Booster Apocalypse are fully automated. It's not manual. So in the past we've had some problems with turning on Booster Apocalypse from time to time, and this is because it was very manual. We had to do it ourselves on the servers, and that wasn't like very good. Now we can schedule them in advance, and everything is automated, so it means more flexibility for us. Potentially, we'll do it more often. I don't know. It's up to him.
It's not just up to him. It's not just up to him.
Yeah, it's a collective effort, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now you should have a little bit more streamlined experience from it, and also maybe a small segue for the in-game news, because it's kind of called next.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so we implemented images in in-game use, and it's actually a pretty cool feature. I mean, like for new players, it's like it's not new content, and I understand that. But the story for us developers, it's a very nice tool because when we the reach we have when we post something in game is much higher than when we post something on let's say social media or anything like this. Much more people will see it. So it's a very good tool, and so we decided to improve it and make it more like on par with industry standards, which is the ability to display images in it. So now we actually have a cool system where images are downloaded from the internet, which is it was a nice technical challenge because up until that point, all the textures you see in the game were maybe UI or even like 3D models and such. All of this was always installed on the application, and that's the first time we are using that system to stream images from the internet. So it came with a few challenges. It was crashing consoles a lot. But yeah, it turned out nicely, and it works, and it's very stable. So yeah, now we have a nice and fancy way to display information indirectly in the game. So yeah,
good you're saying that it's this tiny data that like maybe people wouldn't like realize that something like this can actually
Take a lot
of other features and stabilities and stuff.
Yeah. There was a few points in the development of 13.1 where the game was crashing when you boot as soon as we would set up some in-game use with images, because it would try to save those images on the system and crash in the process, which would just make the game unplayable.
Yeah.
And none of this is on the live build, so yay. We did a good job with QA and programmers to fix those problems well in advance.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we really appreciate it because, as you said, like it's not just good to inform you guys like about these things like Booster Apocalypse or like some new events, but it's also like if we have something pressing that we would like to share, like I don't know, for example, we had some issues in the previous update or something. So that's also good for this, that we can tell everyone, and everyone is not just dependent on the stuff that we do on social media. So that's definitely even better for just like communication about everything with our Outlanders. So it's great.
Yeah, this is awesome. And so thank you both for the explanation. I think, Filip, would you like to queue up for an encounter maybe?
Sure.
Like, encounters are relatively easy. I mean, like, you could just hide and loot. Don't feel
Make sure
pressure.
you
much,
have
yeah.
consumables.
Oh, well.
You have weapons, maybe you have ammo, I don't know.
You can
We'll
cancel the
see,
queue.
we'll see.
Oh, okay, you want it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, like I'm not much of a shooter, so I usually when I play the game, I'm loot more than shoot. So
That's fine.
Yeah.
I've seen some stats from a player on social media this week where they played, I don't know, a few thousand or a few hundreds encounters, and they had like a kill per encounter of 0.02, so they made 50
Damn.
kills. But they extracted like a ton of airdrops, and they had looted so much, so they were like very like pacifist, and this is not something we see often, so
That was cool.
I took some time to appreciate it.
exactly, and it's one of the ways how to play the game, right? So that's also great that stats can show you this as well, and then play style and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also see some questions in the chat relating to one question that I picked out of our social media. People are asking when are we going to have the next double XP weekend. It was mentioned on Facebook, it was also mentioned on Twitch earlier on, and it was mentioned on our social media. So we just wanted to clear up that like we are planning double XP weekend, but it will be closer to the holiday season. It won't be right now because this weekend we will be having the Black Friday booster apocalypse. For all game modes. So for when it comes to double XP, it will definitely be happening in the holiday season so that people have some time to actually get on that grind. It will happen slightly before the holiday season as far as I remember. So yeah, we hope you keep an eye out for it. All right. What? Do you boost the creep too?
Someone say besides the R2 bug, maybe a spring bug would be cool. What?
Which one? Maybe a sprint.
What is the R2 bug? That's why I'm highlighting that comment actually, because I'm not aware of an R2 bug. I don't know
Something with the controls, but
yeah, like on PlayStation, obviously. But
Is it on PlayStation or
oh,
yeah?
we didn't
because-
show that we were QnA. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry
Try
about
to make
that.
a countdown next time.
okay.
No promises.
All right. But yeah, so if you are having some issues and you would like to report them to us, please do give them, tell us about them and please give them more details so that we can understand it better and then we can look into it. I want to see what the chat has to say because we've been talking a lot, but I feel like we haven't been reading the chat as much as we would want to. There was a question regarding a roadmap for 2023. We would definitely like to share more information on what we will be tackling next year, but it's in the works right now, so we probably will be sharing more information towards the end of the year or the start of next year, basically.
Yeah, well, if we
And
come down with
there it
looting.
It's distracting.
Yeah.
If you feel like.
We can run around probably, but
Yes. There were also a few people mentioning that it would be nice if they could untrack the completed legacy seasons. That's a fair point to bring up. Thank you for that. We would probably then definitely, no, not probably, then definitely. No. We would definitely pass it on to the team so that it could be looked into because it is a quality of life thing that could be good for the game. So there's that.
We always try to include some quality of life changes in each update. So.
Indeed. Alright, and then there's also for Scythia reference in game please. Which I'm not sure if I understand.
Oh, like an Easter egg of you?
That's what I'm not sure about. It's a question. If you are still in the chat, please feel free to clarify. I mean, like, Johanny had an idea, and I'm not sure if that's what you were trying to say, so it would be great if you could specify it, and then we could then look into it. Alright, let's see. There is a long time left on this battle pass. What double XP? That's a fair point. There were instances in the past when we did have a double XP weekend towards the beginning of when we had just released a new battle pass, and then people did grind it really fast because they are very good looters and shooters, so they got a lot of XP. But then that led to them complaining that they need a new season ASAP. And it's awesome that you love the game so much that you want a new season and you were dedicated enough to finish it that quick. That's really awesome. But we want to give others as well more time to level up to their own, let's say, speed of their liking. So that's also why we aren't having a double XP weekend as soon as the season drops. You know, we gotta give everyone time to grind.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're keeping an eye on like how fast players are completing seasons and such, and yeah, like some of you are very fast, but the majority of the people actually aren't.
Exactly.
So we need to give them enough time, and those XP events are actually useful for them.
Yes, indeed. Oh, and this was something that I think, Johanny, you could also discuss. A message from Tiny Online saying that someone from their community was suggesting, I guess, AI in encounters protecting gold loot.
That's a very cool idea.
Maybe we should start off by saying that we aren't planning on implementing AI in encounters right now. It is a cool idea, but
It is a cool idea, but the technical challenge to implement this is very high. Actually, I guess it's a nice time to speak about how come we got to the situation we have bots on the tutorial. And I must say it was a very difficult feature to implement. It took us like 6 months. We wanted to push it sooner to you, like the initial goal was to have it much sooner in the game, but it was so difficult to implement. And the reason is Vigor was built, the character in Vigor, all the code around the character in Vigor was built with the assumption that there would always be a controller block to that character, and so we had to refactor a lot of code around the character to make sure that we can control characters and still reuse all the animations and reuse as much as possible of the implementation of them, but control them with an AI. So yeah, I'm glad we managed. The reason we implemented them and we agreed to do it in the first place is that killing AIs in a tutorial is just industry standard, right? It's proven that it's a very good way to introduce players to combat in a game, and our design team strongly believe that it was one of the reasons why newcomers were kind of lost when they reached their first encounter, because they never really fought any real opponent before that first encounter. So, wow.
oh, rip. Oh, this person was in the shootout as well earlier, in the shootout match.
Yeah, they're really good.
I guess they're strip sniping.
That's possible.
They probably answered some surveys, right?
Yeah, they have the tomato gloves. Yes, indeed.
So thank you for the survey if you're
Yeah.
watching the stream.
If bots are so tough, what about an offline game? You know, Vigor is mostly an online game, and we want players to be playing together because this is where it shines and this is where the fun is. We could possibly make an offline game mode, but that would take a lot of energy out of the team, and that would take the focus away from what we are really trying to make with Vigor, so I don't think we can do it. The AI in the tutorial is cool nonetheless. Cool. Yeah.
And give us the dev-only cosmetic featured in the tutorial, lol.
Really? There is a... Did we do that?
Yeah, it's the same one that it's seen in the blooper reel that we had before.
Right.
And it says "Ride or Die."
Yeah,
I think we discussed it a while back, so we understand and we hear you that that's it's a coveted cosmetic by the community. So
Maybe to clarify, sorry that I'm interrupting, but yeah, like it's I understand that it's called like dev only, but just to clarify, it's not an intention, you know. Like, as you probably know, like there were some changes in the team, not in the recent, let's say, year or two, but before. And there was a lot of intentions before for some certain uniforms, and we never got to that. So it's not the intention to like not give you guys the cosmetic. Of course, we would like to do it in the future. But yeah, it's just not something that we like keeping to ourselves and like, oh, we want to have this just for ourselves, you know. It's not not the intention and never was. So it's just
yeah, we could definitely make some plans, and I really like that the community is talking about this specific cosmetic, because that's what we want to hear. We want to hear you communicate with us and tell us this is what you would like to see, and so it helps us with our decision making as well. So yes, there's that.
How about you queue up on YouTube now?
shoot out, okay.
It's easier, you know, when you die, you respawn.
I know the game.
I didn't mean it.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, but like, I can do it, but it's gonna be funny because I'm very bad at shooting, you know, but why not?
See, this is the perfect place to train.
True.
And yeah, so let's see what else. There were some other questions on our social media that we can also look into. Maybe this one from Reddit. When can we expect a new map? I believe we discussed it as well in another dev stream. I think that one where maybe just the most recent one is Vigor, if I'm correct. But in any case, we would like to release a new map in the next year. So it does take a lot of time. And if you would like to hear a detailed explanation from a producer's point of view, aka Zbigniew, please feel free to have a look at our previous live stream. It should be available, the VOD, on YouTube. So it just takes a lot of work and a lot of effort from the team to create and shape up a new map, and we want it to come out nice, and I don't want to say perfect, but we want it to be crisp. It's what I want to use. That is the word I'm gonna go for. We want it to be crisp for the community so that it's the least, like, it is not very problematic, or like players will have a smoother experience with new maps. That's why it takes time, and that's why we're taking time with it, but we definitely would like to release something new within the next year. All right, and I see some people in the chat are super pleased that they were able to get into the lobby, so that's going to be...
countdown again, right?
We didn't, but at least like we showed when we were queuing up, and there is a delay between like what we do and what shows on stream, but like it's not too big of a delay, so yeah, this is nice. All right, let's see what the other chats have to say. Oh, there's some feedback about the Fallen Soldier pack.
Okay.
They love the outfit, but they don't like the colors, and they would feel more inclined to buy it if it came with useful camo.
Fallen Soldier?
Do you mean Fallen Soldier or Soldier of Fortune?
There are two. There's Soldier of Fortune and Fallen Crown of Daisy. So
yes,
so a mix of those two.
Yeah, so it would be great if you clarify which one specifically you were talking about. We'd like to know what you think, and thank you in advance for sharing what you think with us. Alright, I also want to check what else is going on in other chats. Okay, there's some feedback about the adrenaline shot. What? That was quick.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not. No.
Okay, we will see blood trails in the encounters as they are in the tutorial. Most likely not. The reason is, in the tutorial we're trying to, onboard you in the game and say a story, tell a story, a specific story, and that goes well with the narrative that is going on in there. But in encounter, I mean, some maps already have some blood splashes in some locations, because level designers were trying to tell stories also through level design and how levels are made and how the maps is made. But I don't think we would just add random blood trails in encounter. Like, it would need to serve a gameplay feature which we don't have, so yeah, most likely not.
Thank you, Johanny, for that response, and hopefully that the community understands where you're coming from with this. No, not you, but this statement.
That was the whole joke.
Haha. Alright, let's see what else the chat has to say. Oh, and there is some follow-up feedback about the premium pack, and it was specifically for the new premium pack, Soldier of Fortune.
Right.
But for all the premium outfits, I don't like the shiny or look at me colors. I prefer camo in general.
I mean, the cosmetics are pretty dark, so I don't think they're like shiny.
I think that they meant that they were loud, but like not in the, like, visually loud, like not as toned down as camo would be.
Well, they don't blend so much with the environments, that's true.
I think that that's what the player is trying to indicate. Oh,
Sure. It's not to me.
Johanny jumper.
So thanks.
But you're. I think that I'm. Did you mean you would like a Johanny jumper, or you would like Johanny's jumper in the game? Because you got a jumper on right now, and it looks quite cool. So, yeah. Let's see what else the chat has to say. Sorry.
No,
Okay.
just
Oh, this happened. Make it happen, Johanny.
the Easter egg. It's not on me to make those things happen, so I can ask someone to do it, but I cannot do it myself because it usually requires art, and I don't know if you've ever seen a programmer making any kind of art, but it usually turns very poorly.
You could do it if you believe in yourself. I'm sure you could.
If I train for 10 years, maybe.
Alright.
But yeah, unlikely.
That's really sweet, though. I think that they would like an Easter egg, as you suggest, as you clarified that was probably what the person meant, and it seems that you were on the same wavelength as them, and you said, yeah, it's an Easter egg. So that's really nice. That's sweet. Thank you. And then also Johanny's jumper, or a Johanny jumper, but it looks like they mean your jumper that you're wearing right now. And there is a question that is asked, will we expect downtime when the Christmas update drops, or will it just appear and is it hiding inside the recent update? This is something that would be cool, Johanny, for you to respond.
Yeah, hidden stuff in the update? Nah, that's not like us. No, actually it will be like that. There won't be any planned downtime for when the Christmas update will drop. The content is already in the version, so if you have the ability to data mine, well, go for it.
But don't encourage them like that.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't. Don't take his advice.
It's okay. Our builds are quite clean, actually. We don't leak content in it. We are careful with this. But yeah, so no, there won't be any downtime for the Christmas stuff when it comes.
Maybe, speaking of downtime, maybe it would be great for us to, or for you, Johanny, to provide more insight as to why update 13.1 took a little bit longer than usual when being released.
Okay, so, well, it didn't go well, basically. We prepared in advance and such.
It was more than any story.
Okay, Filip.
Sorry.
No problem. The reason is we did a lot of deep changes in a lot of systems, one of them being the in-game shop system. The in-game shop system was, I mean, on the appearance, nothing changed, right? But the truth is, that system alone was responsible for, I don't know, somewhere between, 20% of the design team time in the, like, if you take a whole sprint when we make an update, one designer was spending almost the entire sprint just working with the shop and setting it up and all of these things. And basically that's a huge waste of time because we know what we want the shop to be doing roughly. And it was very time consuming and very difficult for the change to for the shop to be changed and for designers to set up the shop as they wanted. And so we did a lot of changes quite deep into the system because we had a lot of technical depth on that system that made it not flexible. So just achieving our goals with that system was taking a long time. And we removed all of this. Basically, we removed all the complexity and all the things that were slowing us down with this, so that those poor designers that were basically filling in the data for the shop for too long, now they don't have to do it. Or at least it's much, much faster. And even if we were to deploy by accident something that we didn't intended on the live version of the game, now it's easier for us to fix it. And yeah, basically we just overhaul the entire system. It's almost completely invisible. But yeah, and one of the things that we had to do to remove that technical debt, and this is why we postponed it for so long, is that we had to change a lot of data about about purchases already made, all the transaction history for all the players. We had to migrate that data, and this is a lot of data. There was there was hundreds of millions of unique transactions in our database for all the purchases that occurred in the game. Not the premium store, but like the in-game shop, right? Like when you purchase boosters, cosmetics items in the feature shop and such. And so we had to migrate all that data so that we removed the technical debt we had. And that's what took a long time, because that has to be running while the services are not running. Otherwise, well, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I believe that if it didn't go the way that it did, players would not be able to enter the game, right?
Yeah, basically, or they would have lost all their purchases or all their hard currency crowns.
That is something that we should avoid.
Yeah, like while we were in the downtime, we were actually thinking with my colleagues, like, what can we do at that point? Because it's taking too long, and we realized that it was taking too long, and we were wondering. Because our test estimation where it was supposed to take roughly 1 hour, but not nearly as much as it took. It took like almost 6 hours to complete that migration, which was crazy. We didn't anticipate that. And basically there was no way going back because the client was already updated at that point. So it wasn't possible to roll back the update and just find a different way to release it, because we cannot easily roll back the applications on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, because those updates are pushed by Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, and we need to agree on it like well in advance and such. So yeah, no. So there was no way around. We just had to make it finish. And we did eventually.
It did. It took much longer than we expected, but we got there. And we're sorry that it took a long time, but we hope that this allows you to understand the situation better on why it was taking that long. Thank you, Johanny, for that explanation. All right. Maybe we are nearing the end of our stream. We have around like 10 more minutes. So let's try and see what else the chat has to say, and then we could also look into some other questions that our players sent us on social media. Let's see. I may have just gone shopping with my threat hoodie, still waiting for someone to stop me and ask me about, probably a security guard, thinking that I'm threatening him. That's a funny one. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You'll still get it on the shop.
Oh, yeah, nice. Oh, it's good. You're also wearing it, so it's like, yeah, you can't see the back right now because Filip is too busy actually trying to be a threat in the Outlands right now, so we cannot show off the back, but it's in our store for sure, in the Bohemia Interactive website, so feel free to drop by and still grab it while you can. Alright, let's see. Okay, they're really adamant. Johanny jumper and Forsythia in the game, please. Which, by the way, apparently your jumper looks very warm. And
It is, yeah, actually.
is it? Oh, yeah,
But
like
not too much. It's okay. I feel comfy. Thanks.
It's just right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Thank you, everyone. You're really sweet. All right. Let's see what else the chat has to say. There are some suggestions of what we could do for other game modes. Like it's more of a reference to our other members of the community, but they would like to suggest pineapples in elimination because it's a reference to one of our other community members. So, or maybe exploding fish because we have the elimination map for Fiske, so that's also a thing. Let's see what else the chat has to say.
Stream for another hour.
Stream for another hour. Like, I would love to. I really enjoy streaming, but then I would feel bad because other people have plans for the evening. Like, Johanny will want to eat dinner. Filip will definitely want to eat dinner for sure. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we need to eat. We need to go home and have some rest. But we are really happy to hear that you like this stream so much that you would like us to stream some more.
And there's also some other people in the chat, right? Which sometimes people don't realize.
Oh, yeah.
Not usually the 3 people here, but also some other people that
are manning behind the scenes. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Let's see what else the chat has to say.
That was really
This one was funny. It's a shame that it was removed, but that's alright. Alright, if you guys talk long enough, eventually you'll slip some info. You sneaky. That's why you are suggesting for us to stream longer. Oh, and here I thought that you guys liked seeing us and hearing from us, but okay.
Just here for the info.
Apparently so.
Someone said, quick question. My game has the previous season picture on the menu. Has not updated to the current season.
That's suspicious.
Well, the reason is it's a minor update, so we don't update those things.
Yeah.
So, it can happen sometimes that the images don't roll instantly because it's a separate process that our partners have to do. Not Vigor partners, but like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
Yeah.
But for this time, for minor updates, we usually don't update those because it's the same season. So, yeah, that's your explanation.
Thank you, Johanny, for that. Alright, let's see. Well, we also have more questions from our community as well, from our social media. This one is the possibility of crafting more than one consumable. Okay, will it be possible to craft more than one consumable at a time in the near future? Near future, probably not.
Yeah.
It's definitely not
Future,
something.
yes. We are working on some of that stuff. Although it's way too early to speak about it. But yeah, that's part of something bigger.
Something bigger that we would
We are
like to
planning,
implement.
Yeah, we are not ready to share anything about it yet. It's in early design phase, so yeah, it's not it's way too early, way too soon. But yeah, it's a good idea, and we are
aware it's a good idea.
Yeah, we agree.
Oh, but they're egging you on. Can you just spill the beans?
I was wondering what a balance is.
Beans. It's beans. Oh wow, some of our Outlanders are so passionate about the game that they're really close to, like, sometimes I feel like they're part of the team because they think like us, I think.
Yeah, too much insider info.
For sure. Alright, and another question from our community, also from Reddit. Could there be an option in the settings added to adjust the parameters of the loot all function, such as filtering between rarities and resources? It would be a nice quality of life feature. Understandably so, yeah.
Why not? I guess if you loot a lot, yeah, that can get annoying when you pick up some stuff that you don't want.
Especially if you're trying to look for specific loot for specific shelter improvements. Like, there are some instances where, like, out of habit, you try to pick up the higher rarity loot, but actually you should be really looking for metal parts and wire, and so you should actually be picking the white rarity ones rather than the nice high rarity items. So it makes sense why this request was put forth. But as mentioned even by the person who is asking, it would be a nice quality of life feature. So we could consider it for a quality of life feature in the future, but no promises just now.
Okay, someone said, Seb Prasser?
Yes.
That's how you pronounce that.
That's how I
when
would
crafting, it often crashes or desyncs the game and I need to reload, so multi-crafting would be needed for that reason. I have good news for you because we fixed the bug with crafting in 13.1. So when you are crafting fast, now it no longer does that crash, as you call it. I would call it rather like a kick to splash screen or disconnection. But yeah, we fixed the bug that was causing this in this update. But it's still happening when you're deconstructing stuff, and we will be fixing this. But yeah, so there you go. You don't need multi-crafting.
Thank you, Johanny, for that. And we also have a question from our Facebook chat. They're asking if the older players can see the new tutorial. The answer is yes, actually. Philip, if you could be so kind to open the options menu and then in game. And then if you scroll all the way down, play tutorial. We're not gonna play it just now because we will be wrapping up the stream, and we did show the tutorial in our previous dev stream, and you can even give it a try yourself now if you were curious about how to get on with it. It will be in your options menu. All right, and let's see. I just wanted, before we wrap up the stream, I just wanted to rehash that we will be having a Black Friday apocalypse from the 25th to the 28th. It's booster apocalypse for all game modes, so you will be getting up to 33% off of all boosters on encounters, shootout matches, and elimination as well. So yeah, we will definitely be posting more information about it on our social media. There should also be an in-game news that will pop up about it, but this is just some early info, a nice tidbit for those of you who have decided to join us today on our stream. So yeah, there's that. They're asking us to show the unreleased cosmetic in the
It is not unreleased. It is released. It's just
Not
unobtainable for players. But you can see it in your game. It is there. It's released.
Yeah, that's the
Cheeky answer.
nice one, Johanny. All right. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Maybe I would take one last question, just one, before we wrap up and say goodbye. So please send them in the chat and we will pick a nice one. If I don't see a nice spicy one, I think Johanny or Filip will read one out loud. So yeah, if you have any questions.
There was a lot of mentions on the AFK and elimination and such. Just to reiterate what was said on previous dev streams, we are working on it. We will be implementing a new system that will go side by side with the report system. But yeah, that's it.
Yes, thank you,
That's all we
Johanny.
got. We're still working on it.
Yes,
It should help.
it will help definitely.
Big time.
Yeah.
Thank you for reiterating, Johanny, and hopefully that tidbit helps our Outlanders as well. Alright. This isn't really a question, but we do need to wrap up, and it's something really nice to end the stream with. On YouTube, one of our viewers is saying, "Thank you for all of your work and communication with the community. Best dev team because of this." Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so nice to hear. We're happy to hear that you are appreciating our efforts and all. Yes,
Definitely.
we're doing our best and we're happy that you recognize that. So yeah. All right, that's about it for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Maybe I realized that there's also one more thing. We will be streaming, our next stream will be on December 14th. Not in 2 weeks from now, but rather 3 weeks from now, so on December 14th. So we hope you keep an eye out for it, and thank you once more for stopping by. Maybe last messages from y'all to the community, something you would like to say?
Keep playing. It's cool.
And also keep the feedback coming. That's usually helping us a lot.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yep.
So
Original Sin is saying that next year will be huge for Vigor. I can only agree.
Yeah.
At least we're ambitious.
Yeah.
Alright.
Stay tuned. I said it last time, but there are still some things that
We have it hiding, yeah.
So well, hiding. They're usually not done, so that's why I don't know about them.
Yeah, but,
But,
we're hiding the information because we're not done, so...
Exactly. We're not done. But we have a good year, I think, ahead of us.
Yeah, definitely. Good stuff coming away.
Alright, thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you Filip and Johanny for stopping by as well, and we'll see you in the Outlands. Thank you, Johanny. Okay, goodbye!
Bye.
See ya.
See you in the Outlands.